The Fox Illinois Sports Desk, sponsored by Route 66 Solar.
I caught up with former Illinois head coach Bruce Weber. He led Illinois to the national championship game in 2005, won 2 Big Ten titles before finishing up at Kansas State. He's now an analyst for the Big Ten Network, and we did talk about Illinois this year. Illinois did lose a couple NBA players, but Brad Underwood reloaded with professional Eastern Europeans, old transfers, and also returning 45% of last year's scoring.
And that, over the last few years, the whole thing was get old and stay old. And that's been definitely a good formula for having success. Purdue's going to be old this year. I think Illinois went through a little bit, this year. Just they had too many young guys and up and down the inconsistency. So, that's what was great to keep Boswell and some of those older guys and new guys can live up to the expectations. They're going to be competing again for a top 5 spot in the league.
When Bruce Weber coached college basketball, it was a little bit different. Weber's best team was 2005, nearly winning the national title. And they were led by veterans, Darren Williams, Luther Head, James Augustine, and of course, Dee Brown. In today's game, there's players making millions of dollars and teams are loaded with transfers.
Does 2005 happen now with keeping Brown and, with Darren Williams and Augustine, like these 3-4 year guys? Because just all over the country, everybody transfers.
Yeah, we would have had to come up with a whole bunch of money to keep those guys. Can you imagine what Dee Brown was worth in the NIL? I mean, he was a walking commercial. It's just amazing. I talk to fans all the time. They miss growing up with the players and watching them develop. It's still college basketball, and it's definitely entertaining in the wintertime.
Thanks for the interview, Coach. And you'll hear from him again. I'm working on a story about Jarling's Custard Cup, where he's a co-owner with Illinois figures Ron Turner and Kirk Kittner. And Brett Bielema and 3 of his players just flew out to Las Vegas for Big Ten Media Days. And fun fact, Brett Bielema met his wife Jen while playing blackjack in Vegas. But now back to football. The Big Ten preseason poll came out, and the media, they are high on Illinois. Brett Bielema's squad's projected to finish 4th out of 18th in the Big Ten Conference. The only teams better are Penn State, Ohio State, and the Oregon Ducks. So if Illinois can stay hungry and focused, they're expected to be right in the thick of making the college football playoff.
That's what we asked for. We asked for being in those polls and in the top 10 list and stuff like that. But it can be a distraction if you let it. If we get distracted for a moment, we'll fall right back into, where this program's been for a long time, and it hadn't been great.
And a big reason why experts think that Illinois is going to be pretty good this year is because they do return 16 starters from that 10-win team. That's the most in the Big Ten, but there is one area where they did lose a lot, and that was wide receiver, with Pat Bryant and Zachary Franklin off to the NFL. I'd keep an eye on Ball State transfer Justin Bowick. Last year, he only played 4 games, but he still had 400 yards. He's a big guy at 6'5", and the coaching staff, they've compared him to NFL long ball threat Cortland Sutton. And he's in the running to be Pat Bryant's replacement.
Yeah, for sure. It's a good compliment, but I try to, not get too high, not to get too low. Yeah, but definitely a deep threat, It was always a kind of goal of mine to go P4, P5. So, after that season, I kind of felt good to transfer.
And finally, the Missouri Valley Conference preseason football poll. It came out. That's the conference that the Illinois State Redbirds are in. Illinois State's projected to finish 4th in the conference and contenders to make the FCS playoffs. I'm Carson Gordy. Take care. Thank you for watching, and make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Be sure to watch more videos from Fox Illinois.